I'm Chad White, and I'm the Putty McPutterson Putsworth of mini golfing. I've been mini golfing since I was in the womb, since before conception. I was the best mini golfer in the southeastern hemisphere of the United States. I was so good that people were already afraid of me when I walked down the street as a toddler holding the world's shortest putter. I'm such a fan of mini golf that no one here is going to be able to beat me. You see this B-roll that's happening. I came to Holy Moly to be the best Holy Molyer that Holy Moly's ever seen. And I'm coming to take you down, Rob Riggle and Joe Tessitore and Steph Curry and even Jeannie Mai and even Course Marshall Joe and even that stupid gopher Sir Goff and the Muppets, because that's what's happening this season. That's the season-long arc. I'm coming for you, baby. I'm the best putter in the world. Putty, putt, 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 putt.
It's news time. Delivering to you the news you didn't know about, the news you didn't care about, and the news you didn't know you cared about. With host, Chad White. Now, here's that host, Chad White.
Oh, that is a nice, long, and sturdy shaft. Oh, hi there. Hey, welcome back to News Time. I'm your host, Chad White, and this is the golf news that you didn't know about. Don't mind me in those golf clubs. Hey, listen, lots of big news going on over there in golf world. In fact, the PGA Tour just happened, and it was a wild and crazy success. I'm just kidding, it wasn't. Tiger Woods came back. Some golfers that usually golf in these big tournaments weren't at the PGA Tour, and there's a huge discrepancy, a big elephant in the room when it comes to the golf world right now, and that's the LIV Tour Championship jigger that's happening in Saudi Arabia, and it is not good. Golf is having probably one of the most wild seasons it's ever had. So we'll start at the top. The PGA Tour this year was a real scramble. They had 2 years just to put this on, which sounds like a lot of time, but it's kind of not. But they've had to move it from the previous place, which is at Trump Bedminster. And yes, that name is there for a reason. The 2022 PGA Championship was announced, the course was announced in 2014, and because they do these things ahead of time, a lot like the Olympics, a lot like the NBA championships. It's just how things happen, and they had to move it. The championship is planned out to 2031 or 2034, but typically it's planned out years in advance, and they just had to move it in the last 2 years. And it was because of the things that have happened recently. The trophy itself has been lost before. All the way back in 1925, Walter Hagen lost it after he won the entire championship. He gave his taxi driver $5 and to drive the thing to his hotel, and guess what? Didn't arrive, which is wild to say the least. Now, the questions before the event itself involved a lot of what's going to happen when Tiger shows up, and he showed up. He did really well, but he just did not do Tiger well. And I mean, I wouldn't even say well. He did good. He did good, kid. What Phil Mickelson said about the PGA and about the Saudi Arabian sponsored LIV Tour Championship, what's going on in that situation. So those were the two biggest issues going into it. What Phil actually said is a little bit out of pocket, as the kids would say. He did release an apology, but he essentially called them, and this is from CBS News, scary MFers, and acknowledged that their murderous tendencies in an excerpt from Alan Shipnuck's soon-to-be-released biography of Mickelson. He did apologize, but that is not the end of the story. Tiger had some views on on what Phil said and basically what Tiger said. He didn't really take a side, but he did not approve of what he said. Tiger said that while he's not spoken to Phil, he thinks it has a lot to do with personal issues. He thinks that Phil is just going through some things. And that's kind of what you say about your famous friend who says really dumb, stupid stuff. Phil registered with the PGA Championship despite what he said, even though the PGA Championship said, we don't know if you're exactly going to be joining us. Phil's got more problems that will be soon in the light. Will soon be in the light, actually. And it's all going to be coming out from a book by sports gambler Billy Walters, which is co-written by Armin Katayan. The book was talking about how Walters was sentenced to jail in 2017 for a lot of things, including conspiracy, securities fraud, and wire fraud. But there's a story that Mickelson owed Walters $2 million, and then but Mickelson gave him $931,000, and there's a lot of things going on in there. So Phil is not in the clear for really anything. So the PGA Tour went ahead, and Phil was not there. He was the talk of the town alongside Tiger Woods, who was there for the first time since his accident. But Phil is not the only person to join the LIV leaving the PGA Tour. Bryson DeChambeau and Patrick Reed agreed to a couple of contracts, and while there is not a number behind all of them, Tiger was said to be offered a contract for upwards of 9 figures, which is close to $900 million, and Jack Nicklaus was given around the same figure of $100 million, around the same 9-figure sum of $100 million. So this week, with the announcements that these golfers were going to join the LIV Tour, and I don't really know what we're going to call it, but the LIV Tour, the PGA Tour suspended all the players taking part in the first LIV golf tournament. So that includes Phil, Dustin Johnson, Ian Poulter, Lee Westwood, Sergio Garcia, who, in fact, I think Sergio had a really tough time at the golf tournament before the PGA Tour, where he lost his ball, and the attendant who was with him trying to find his ball, mistimed him and was saying he was running out of time. And it's a very funny video to watch to see Sergio just get angry at this guy. But he was right. Sergio's right. He did not have enough time. The memo said the players who compete in the LIV events are ineligible to participate in the PGA Tour that comes from ESPN or any other tours it sanctions, including the Korn Ferry Tour, PGA Tour Champions, PGA Tour Canada, and PGA Tour Latino America. And this is a huge deal because this is the first time, I think in the history of golf, that this happened, where this tour is set up outside of the regular PGA Tour has gotten a lot more speculation and attention because of who is putting it on. The main reason these guys are doing this is, soon enough, hey, maybe the LPGA golfers will be joining. But the reason these guys are doing this is because they're making more money than they've ever made before. I think I heard a quote that said, between Phil Mickelson and Bryson DeChambeau, it was in their collective 45 years of golfing, they're making more money than they've ever made. So that's insane to see. But then, is it ethical? Is it ethical to be supporting these human rights abuses? And you can say that you don't support them, but I mean, in the end, you're still gonna get paid by them. And this is what I saw. The Saudi Arabia. What they're doing is sports washing, where they try to hide behind, like they go through sports and bring sports to Saudi Arabia, and they try to hide, their offenses behind that, and like try to distract from that. It's crazy. It's the most odd thing to happen in golf in a long time. But yeah, listen, I know you like this. Why don't you subscribe and check out one of our videos? And, we'll just get you a all-in-one. We can also head to YouTube, where youtube.com/ComediClub, where you can watch this show as well as other shows. Instagram and Twitter @ComediClub. Me on Instagram and Twitter @ShyBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook. Listen to the Constitutionals podcast. And I'm going to finish my holy moly interview tape. Good thing I missed.